This is a marker, so I know what the heck I'm talking about. So this is obviously Titan cleaning, and this is like the longer video. The earlier one from today, this is the shorter one. So this is day three. Titan cleaning. That's my kids. The background. Titan cleaning day 3,104, and still trying to figure out what to do now with the new kind of game plan here. Where, in come the first week in August, I would have had 3 full-time employees move, essentially quit, move, and I really have a chance to try to rewrite how I'm doing the business here, how I can go about it different ways, and I'm really trying to figure out how to do the opposite of what I've been doing for the past almost 10 years now, which is when someone leaves, drop accounts immediately, run, what do they call it? Meaner, leaner, leaner and meaner, something like that. I'm trying to not have that mentality, because that seems like that is the mentality that I have gone with from Jump Street, and I thought that it worked. I thought that if I removed the stress that, or the stressful accounts, my stress level would go down or whatever. But I don't think that's the case. I could be totally wrong, but it didn't seem like the way I was doing it was working. So obviously, I guess the theory is if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, then I forget there's some kind of law of whatever, right, with that. So I got to try something different. So I'm trying right now to think about and devise a plan as to how I can maintain the accounts that these other employees were responsible for, and also kind of slightly reduce my costs. I think what I've sort of thought to do is part-time, So the 2 full-time employees that work for me, they maybe work 20 hours a week, but would get paid between 35 and 40 hours for the week, because it was essentially they're getting paid per account. And I did this because if somebody in this industry worked 8 hours of just straight cleaning, they would burn out right out of the gate. I mean, especially on a day like today where it's like 95, or a full week of, we're gonna have a full week of this. So, you would burn out very quickly, or all of a sudden, like, the attention to detail would just cease to exist. So I realized if we shrink the workload down, my idea was there'll be a little bit more attention to some detail, and it's a little bit of a bonus. So, like, instead of me saying, hey, you got to work 8 hours, like today you can work 4. I still kind of like that plan. I don't know if this is what other cleaning companies do. I'm not describing it to its fullest in terms of how I approach it, but that's the gist of it for the most part. But it's basically getting clean, getting paid per job. But obviously, if you work, you got to get, in New Hampshire's 2 hours minimum pay per shift. So, like, you clock in, it's a minimum of 2 hours. So I always have to have enough stuff going on for at least the 2 hours there. And obviously, if they go over what I had thought, which was the 35-40, clearly would pay them the additional amount there. The also with this is, years ago during the pandemic, I was having an issue finding people to work on the weekends. I mean, I couldn't make any plans, even though I still can't make plans. I really couldn't make plans then, because I never knew if I was going to get a call or a text at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning saying, like, I'm sick or I can't come in or whatever. So I basically always had to be on call. And it was very stressful. So the plan was devised to overcompensate somebody for the weekend, making it so it's like, if by you not working on the weekend, you lose out on so much money. And how I did that, this is again probably the worst idea in the world, but I haven't had to, once I implemented this, I haven't had to basically cover those people's shifts. They tend to swap off, but they don't want to lose the work, because so they might have like 2, at most 2. Let's just say 2. It should be longer than that, but it's been 2 hours. So they'll work for 2 hours on Saturday, or they can work Sunday, or they can work Friday evening. I'll pay them for 5 hours, and 2.5 hours at time and a half. So it ends up being well over like $125 basically to work 2 hours. And I know that's kind of crazy, but I have a lot of accounts that need to be done on the weekend, and I needed to be able to count on people to come in and to work, and not to like phone it in, or just like not show up or not care, because if they're only going to get paid, $30, they're not, hey, the odds that they're going to come in is not as high. So I don't know if that I think I'm still going to continue to some capacity. It did work, I think. So anyway, this is day 3,104, and as you can see, it's no different than day one. So again, anybody looking to get into this type of an industry, just be prepared. Hopefully, you've got some other support around you, because this is my support. Is trying to babble on about what I may or may not do, or what is or isn't working. So thanks for listening, whoever is listening, and I'll post something tomorrow. Thanks.